10 years ago, we lived through some of the most intense paranormal activity imaginable. That led us to research haunted locations to capture evidence proving the existence of supernatural beings.
Okay, can you... Oh, both classes. You're gonna leave tonight.
And help our families being tormented as we once
You're gonna leave
were.
the kids alone, too.
And what we discovered is that the South Coast is wickedly haunted.
That was incredible. That's what I'm talking about. That's proof.
Woo! What's up, everybody? Welcome to Wickedly Haunted. Sorry about the little miscue at the beginning. Rushing around, trying to get everything going. It's been a crazy few weeks for Marissa and I. Not only have we picked up several house cases from families that have reached out that really need some assistance, that are experiencing some extreme paranormal activity, for lack of a better word.
Yeah.
But our business, Relatively Paranormal Equipment, has really taken off since we started selling our SLS camera. Now, we have an amazing SLS video tonight, one of the strangest captures that we have ever captured on the SLS camera. We're concluding our investigation of the dead Eddy's house, a beautiful Victorian in New Bedford, Massachusetts. And this SLS video is from our first investigation there, one that got lost due to the crashing of a hard drive that I did not have backed up, unfortunately, my fault. But this SLS video was tucked away on the tablet that it works with, and it was salvaged, as was a recording from our Zoom voice recorder. So we were able to put that together, and wait till you see what we have captured on this. It is freaky stuff, for lack of a better word. We also have some other amazing videos from that investigation that we're going to get to in just 1 minute. We just want to mention that this is an interactive show, so please post your questions and comments after each video. Marissa and I will just give a quick breakdown of what was seen, and then we will take your questions and comments. Please just keep an open mind, keep it positive. That's what we are all about. This is a positive show that we do just to kind of educate the public on the reality of hauntings, because they are real, paranormal activity, because it does happen, and to offer help to the general public. And we hope that maybe by seeing other people who've reached out for help, that it will give you the courage to come forward and reach out for help, because that is our main passion, is to help folks either validate a haunting, or if they're being tormented by something truly negative, to help try to resolve that issue. Okay, so if you are being affected by any sort of paranormal activity, or there's strange things going on in the house and you just kind of want to know what's going on, you can reach out to us through our website, www.relativelyparanormal.com. I recently just redid the website. It looks fantastic, if I do say so myself. Like one page down is a booking form that you fill out, and we will get right back to you. Now, I just want to mention, because we actually had like a bunch of people reach out to us. Okay. If you want help, we are all for it. We do not charge for it. We do not judge. We just help. But there is a process involved. Okay. Basically, you give us some basic information. We come investigate. Okay. We review the evidence, hopefully dig out what's going on there, advise you on the situation and what steps can be taken moving forward to help you out. Okay, we don't just go straight to the end where we go pick up a priest in Rhode Island and bring him here to do cleansings without knowing what's going on. Okay, it may be pipes rattling in the house and an animal in your attic. Probably not, but we do have to investigate first. It's that what we're talking about is the equivalent of bypassing a doctor's visit and just going right to open heart surgery, and then finding out it was a wart on your toe that could have been taken care of with a prescription of Compound W. Okay. Now, I'm not trying to mock the person, but like that's the reality of it. So there is a process. Okay. We have the best intentions in mind, but there is a process involved in it. Okay. So please post your questions and comments. We'll get to that first video. And then when we come back, we'll talk about this case a little bit, our experiences there both times, and take your questions and comments. They don't just have to be about the video or the investigation. They can be about anything paranormal or paranormal investigations, or Marissa and I lived through a haunting, what that experience was like, which lasted almost 3 years. So let's roll that first video, and when we come back, we'll talk about it and what happened there.
All right, here we go.
You're watching a bunch of strange anomalies picked up on our V2 3D mapping camera. Anything picked up on this device has to have solid mass to it, or the V2 will not map it, which makes these spirit energy orbs that it captured all the more amazing. Next, let's look at screenshots of some of the best spirit energy orbs that were captured by our V2 SLS 3D mapping camera. Now remember, only objects that have mass to them will be mapped by this camera. So when some say that dust is what's really being seen here, that is incorrect, because dust would not map out on this camera. If you look close enough up, some of them actually appear to have faces within them. Any spirits, any ghosts, any dead people? My name is Todd. That's my wife Marissa. I don't know if you remember us or not. We were here a short time ago. Tracy has invited us over to talk to you, to give you a voice, to allow you to make contact tonight. We have put plenty of energy boxes around for you to fuel yourself up and interact with us tonight. And that way we can hear whatever stories you have to tell, whatever answers you have to give. If you need help, whatever it is you need, we are here for you to help you out tonight for a short time. So please come interact with us, take the energy, whatever you need, and we hope to hear from you tonight. I know we heard from you last time. We hope to hear from you again tonight. All right. Mr. Eddy, is that you over there, sir? If that's Mr. Eddy, can you please back away from that? This light anomaly appears and disappears just as fast. Alright, so here's your flashlight. Alright. I want to give you a slightly less annoying way to communicate. Mr. Eddy, that's you back away. That's Mrs. Eddy back away. This flashlight was here for touch. I see this in my hand, this light stick. It will not hurt you, but if you can twist the end on and off like I'm doing to turn the light on and off, then we can communicate with you. It's a little easier. So if you can twist that on and off, it will not hurt you. And we can ask yes or no questions just by twisting the end of that on and off. Right. Can you turn that off for us? Let me know you're here. An anomaly comes down by the top of the mirror, followed by a brightly lit one by the staircase. A bug will then fly by the bottom of the screen, followed by a strange mist going from the top of the doorway towards our GS2 camera set.
Touching the flashlight? Oh, no, the flashlight was just going on. Thank you. Thank you so much for that. Did you live in this home? Please confirm that you lived in this home for me. All right, thank you very much. Thank you. You should get that now.
sneeze. I don't want to scare anybody.
Bless you.
Hey.
You please turn the flashlight on. That's you up there.
It's an increase.
Oh no, it's me.
Increase. Increase what? Give me more power? Give as much energy as you want. You can talk through this box right here. See this box? Talk right through that.
Thank you. So this is Mr. Eddy. Oh, good. All right. Thank you so much. How are you doing?
Once again, we see a spirit energy orb shoot into this mirror. As the activity in the men's parlor begins to ramp itself up more and more by the second, I decide to bring the GS2 thermal laser grid over to see if it can map the spirit that's causing all this activity. Back out that a little bit. Here we go. Oh, look at that, look at that, look at that, look at that, look at that.
Oh.
It was doing nothing over there, absolutely nothing. Okay, so we got like a full body being mapped over here, ice cold. Really? And it just went away.
Mr. Eddy, can you come closer?
Wow. We have a camera posted right above the GS2 laser grid monitoring the screen during our entire investigation. What you're looking at is ice cold spots in that men's parlor that camera and laser grid is picking up. The top part of the grid tells you whether or not the anomaly is to the left or the right, and if it's close enough, the bottom part will turn green, letting you know that it's right near you. Either way, this device had sat in that hallway where it had picked up absolutely nothing during the entire investigation, and the second I moved it into the area where all the activity was contained, it lit up like a Christmas tree, showing us some sort of ice-cold anomaly in that room. Spirits often show up as ice cold on our thermal cameras and thermal mapping devices. That's why cold spots are often felt in areas or locations where spirits are known to inhabit. All right, welcome back. Hope you enjoyed that clip. Now, Marissa and I try to take as scientific approach as you can take to paranormal investigating. We use a lot of different equipment. We spread it around a wide area in hopes of getting a bunch of different things to go off at one time. This house was absolutely amazing for that. I don't know exactly how many spirits were there, but that GS2 laser grid that you just saw is one of the best pieces of kit, Robin, that was for you, that we have ever purchased. It basically does thermal detection. It has a laser grid where you can see any shadows that move through it, but anything that enters that area is picked up by the thermal detection. And if it's ice cold, it'll show a blue like you just saw. If I was standing in front of it, it would show me as like red hot. It can pick up, depending on how close the object is. Like if I was right on top of it, my arm, it would just show my arm. If I was way back, you could even see a full body. But the fact that there was an ice cold anomaly in that laser grid area for a while, maybe up to an hour. It was absolutely insane to see. It got like 1,200 hits on it. So every time it remaps itself is a hit, 1,200 hits. And one of them was as cold as 22 degrees. Okay. Just to put that into perspective for a minute, it was like 68, 69 degrees in that house. 22 degrees is like a block of ice. I mean, that's crazy. Mm-hmm. And at one point in this house, we had the flashlight going off, the REM pod going off, which is basically a proximity meter with an antenna. It spits out like a bubble of electromagnetic field, and anything that breaks that area will set it off. And it also detects any deviations in temperatures of more than 5 degrees. That was going off. The ultrasonic motion detector, which basically uses ultrasonic waves to detect anomalies at different depths, can go up to 13 feet. It was picking up anomalies at 10 feet, 13 feet, 1 foot, but they were going like so fast, like whatever this is, it was almost like it was bouncing in and out of its spirit world into our world, you know.
In spirits, they move so fast that just, I mean, that told me that was a spirit coming in and out, or going, you know, or moving even. It could have been doing anything, but the corroborating evidence was just.
I mean, we've done a demo video on that ultrasonic motion detector with me walking up and down the hallway, and it was like 4 feet, 3 feet, 2, and it goes up to inches as well. So it was crazy. And then I brought out the SLS camera, which is 3D mapping, and basically that picked up the same anomaly in that men's parlor at the same time. So it was absolutely crazy. And then we switched the SLS. We showed this on the last episode about this house into the ladies' parlor. We picked up an apparition playing the piano. You know, it can be subject to false positives if we filmed like their grandfather clock or a coat rack, but it would just be stuck there like the size of the object. And the fact that something was banging away on the piano and jumping around, and a guy got off the chair that seemed to be watching the show and started dancing around the room. Like the spirits there seem pretty friendly. You know, we're like all spirits. Everywhere we go, some spirit will tell us to get out, leave, whatever.
I think that these spirits were excited that somebody was finally communicating with them, because I think that Tracy has obviously acknowledged the spirits there, but they still haven't been able to communicate.
Well, again, we bring in a whole host of technology, and to have it all, usually we'll call it like star of the show. Like one piece of technology will go off the whole time. A few other pieces will go off. In the Barrios house, everything went off. Both times we were there. Everything. And you're talking about all different types of technology, corroborating evidence. Mm-hmm. So let's get into some comments, and then I'll fix whatever's going on with the camera. Marissa hit the wire. She told me it was fine. I guess I don't think so.
No. I think that this is paranormal in our home.
I don't think so. I think it's a wire that you bumped.
I don't think it's a wire at all.
All right, let's get to the comments.
Okay. Seriously.
I see one from our boy Ray.
Okay, so.
All right.
So Raymond says, hey, Raymond.
All right, so Raymond, and then you see where it says Half Iron Paranormal. That is our friend Robin from all the way over in the UK, home of like 5 of our top 10 bucket list haunted locations.
Yes.
What did
he says, hey, my brother.
What do you say there? I like it.
And I like it.
Okay, now we just started doing a podcast with Raymond and Robin. Robin's been doing this podcast for a while with our other friend AJ, and Raymond joined the cast with us. It's a paranormal podcast where we interview other paranormal groups around the country. It's called Talking with the Source. And if you go to our Relatively Paranormal Facebook group, that's a public group, anyone's welcome to join. And we do post notices when that show goes on, that podcast. And that's really interesting because we're talking about the paranormal from other people's perspectives. And we also forgot to mention that we do have a YouTube channel called Relatively Paranormal that has every episode of Wickedly Haunted. I think like 120 videos. I do reviews for ghost hunting equipment if you're into that. Full investigation videos as Relatively Paranormal, which is what Marissa and I call ourselves on the shirt here. And we have a TikTok channel called Relatively Paranormal as well. And, of course, we talked about our website already, which has 4 video players, a photo album full of paranormal evidence we captured. Just awesome stuff. So let me fix this camera.
Wait,
let's run another video.
Wait, I just want to finish these comments real quick.
Oh, okay.
Real quick. Sorry.
I'm afraid to fix the camera while there's not a video on.
Oh, he says, sorry, and sister. Thank you. I appreciate that. And so Raymond says, and we have a go at each other. Laugh out loud. What's up with the feed? Yeah, we're working on it, Raymond. I know. I'm not
telling you,
sure.
she hit the chord. I saw.
No, I swear it's paranormal.
This could be still haunted. I don't know. It's an old school building from 1882. Was haunted. We thought we moved the spirit on. Maybe something followed us home. I don't know.
Also, Tracy says, Dee and I are here. Hey, Tracy. And then she also wanted to mention that all of the evidence that could be verification that there's a portal in the house too, and that's
there's something going on. There's something going on. It is extremely active. And after the first episode, we saw some comments that Tracy put up, and we could tell that like she was happy to finally have that validation because there's no way to debunk all these things. It's just not. You're talking about 10 different types of technology, all picking up same spirit in the same room and then we flipped it around to the other side of the hallway, and it did the same thing over there, except that side kept going berserk as if that spirit was angry that we stopped giving them attention and we're giving the other spirits attention. It was insane, but her house is haunted.
Yeah,
I'm
for
telling
sure.
you. So if Tracy ever tells you a story, it's real.
All right, we'll work on this feed right now, but we're going to play the next video.
The next video, yep, more investigation from that area, and then that insane SLS video is coming at the end. Good grief.
Where are we? Right here?
Number two.
All right, here we go.
No, stop.
Oh, sorry, wrong one. I'm sorry.
Good. I should have deleted that one out. It's down. Mercy. Stop like flicking around.
It's not me that's moving it. That's just
I told you, then you move the mouse too far away. It don't work.
Oh my God.
Don't work.
All right, here we go.
Number 2.
You better click on it. It's this one, right?
Yeah.
Okay, here we go.
He's in here. There's no doubt.
Free.
He's in here. All right, so we're gonna give this a try. I'm gonna put this over there too. Miss Eddy, whoever's in here, I'm gonna put a couple things over here for you. If you're interested in playing some music, okay? This green thing will not hurt you. If you put your energy in front of it anywhere, you can make contact and answer questions by manipulating that. We're going to put this musical device on for you. And you see these antennas, they will not hurt you. There's one on the top right here, and there's one on the bottom here. It's called the theremin. Yep. And if you touch the top one, it's going to make the tone go up.
Approve. Oh, I like that, I like
The
that.
tone's going to go up if you touch the top antenna, just like that thing. The tone's going to go up if you use your energy to touch this top antenna. The side antenna right here is going to give you a low tone. I know you want to play it. All right.
Do that thing.
Okay. Oh. All right, you're going to stop making the REM pod go off so you can go make the music.
Oh, that's just like the 3.1 too.
Go ahead. Can you stop touching the REM pod so we can hear your music? Oh. Is that this thing? Oh, this thing's going off.
Oh my God. He's using it.
Oh.
He's using it.
Do you hear it? The tone changes? Yeah. Do it again.
Please.
Please. Your music sounds awesome. Change the tone. Touch the side antenna.
Great job.
That is awesome. Can you touch the antenna on the side too?
Sorry, that's me.
That's crazy.
Great job. Excellent. That's fantastic. Well, as promised. Wonderful job.
Where's your pocket? Your pocket?
Yeah, I'm not gonna know. Get another thing.
Don't tangle them wires over again. You're in big trouble.
Mr. Eddy, you're doing a wonderful job with that.
Alright, I think that's gotta go.
Very, very happy to see that. Awesome.
It's not good enough.
Watch this crazy orb that comes out by the staircase as I walk back there and zigzags off into that office over to the right. Then this weird shadow thing shoots out at me as that thing goes into the office. Here's the replay of the shadow right there. Then this amazing orb goes right past over Marissa's head into that same area.
Oh, 12 feet
So hold
away.
on, let me do it. Let me take this for the Marshall. And you can see it's mapping things at different like depths. It sees out about, I don't know, halfway across the room. And you can see it's at 4 feet, 10 feet. It's resetting itself to 0. It did absolutely nothing for the first hour, and it's like all of a sudden it has just gone bananas. If you want to talk about detecting spirits, right? We had 3 figures on the SLS. We have the word bank over there, the Paratech going nuts. We have a figure mapping on this thing left and right. I don't know where he went, but let's see. On the GS2.
You haven't turned on the spirit box yet? Oh, there he is. Yeah, he's over there. Mr. Eddie, can you come see that bright red dot over there? Can you stand in front of it? It won't hurt you.
It's a crazy EVP I just heard.
I was hearing voices left and right.
Yeah, I think there's a TV on downstairs, but I just heard like a loud.
I heard a boy.
Is there one on?
Yeah.
Oh, it's very, very, very soft. I can barely hear it, but I just heard like a loud voice then. Like that.
I heard a child in that dining room, as clear as day, right in my ear, and I don't remember what it said.
I heard a couple kids too.
But I said, what? That's why I asked. I said, oh my God.
Oh, somebody just said something right there. I
We
didn't
did have
know what it was.
children that passed in the house. So, yeah. I heard clear as day. Have you ever heard a child's voice in here?
A friend of mine got an EVP in my daughter's bedroom, clear as crystal, said, yeah.
Yeah, it's...
But to hear it, to actually hear it, no, I've never heard. I've never been sitting
Guy's
here and heard a
wife
child's
dig enchanted there.
Yeah, I heard it.
All right. So when you see EVP on the screen, if you're new to the show, that means electronic voice phenomenon. So those are voices that we do not hear live at the time of the investigation. They're imprinted on our digital media and we hear them after. Nobody heard that woman moaning. Now, what's bizarre is that house it's like not historically documented, but it is historically documented that 2 children passed in the house from like tuberculosis and yellow fever, or I forget exactly. But supposedly they were locked away up either on the 3rd floor of the attic by the parents, okay? Now, you're talking late 1800s, things like this happened. It sounds like unconscionable to us now, but if somebody had a disfigurement back then, if somebody had an illness, they would tuck them away because they would be ashamed.
Mm-hmm.
You know, imagine that, ashamed of your child with tuberculosis. You know, I'm sure they were afraid to get sick, but over and over again during this investigation, we picked up a child's voice and a woman's voice. And if we asked questions about this, we would get very strong responses.
Oh, Tracy just said diphtheria.
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 The daughter died of diphtheria.
Diphtheria.
So we would get very strong responses about this. Okay, so what I was talking about there is I went into the kitchen and I heard a child's voice out in the air, which is called the disembodied voice. I heard it with my own ears. It said like hi to me or something. Like it was clearly a child. And I was talking to Tracy about it, and then you hear a woman moan. I said, oh, I don't remember exactly what I was saying, but that's what the woman moaning was. And then the same voice comes through again, moaning, as Marissa's talking about what the paratech said. Now, the paratech is a little like box that the spirits can manipulate to communicate with us by choosing words. Now, it's not just as simple as like a word in there. It is like a scientific device where they have to first pick the category of the word, like person, place, number, name.
Mm.
Then they have to pick like the letter it starts with. Then they have to pick the actual word once they've gotten to that category. Then the whole thing resets itself again, so it can't just spit out the same word. Marissa's looking at a phone because the words pop up on the phone and the phone reads them off and keeps a list of it. And you can also change it to different modes, but we just love the word mode. It was extremely compelling in that house.
Oh my God, it was.
It's been extremely compelling everywhere.
Yeah, it has been, but it really, really was that house. It was awesome.
Yeah, it's freaky. And we used to use another device, and we actually caught a spirit energy orb shooting out of that device as it was saying a word, turn into like a black mist and shoot off camera.
Mm.
So stuff like that is what we love to see.
You could just, so that just verifies that the spirits are go into the device, whatever it may be, and kind of like manipulate it, however that's done. And
well, they're made of energy, so they can affect energy, which is why you see, a movie about hauntings and the lights are flickering. That's not just to scare the person. That's because the spirit's draining energy out of the electrical
like
system.
when our feed is flickering and stuff.
No. Listen, she even went there. The cord was loose. Goofball. The cord was loose.
This time it was, but
I was right there. For once, yes. But they're made of energy, so they can manipulate our electronic devices. Some are better at it than others, but given time, like when you go to these famous places like Lizzie Borden's and all these famous places where people go to ghost hunt, the spirits there are very adept at manipulating technology.
Yeah.
Now, oddly enough, Tracy's house, where not a lot of ghost hunting goes on, okay, they were very adept at using the technology.
Well, there have been a few small groups there, but so yeah.
And you have to understand from a psychological standpoint, when you're somebody from the 1800s, technology is the equivalent of magic to them, black magic. Some of them are scared of it, and rightfully so. They've never even seen electricity, some of these spirits. You go to a place like Robin, oh my God, he's in England. We have thousands of years of history. You could be talking to like a Roman centurion soldier who died on the battlefields of England, back in 50 AD, and what does technology look like to him? I mean, it's limitless what you could find over there. But again, we're in New Bedford.
Welcome back to New Bedford.
I see Robin's name, I start getting like hot flashes because I'm like so dying to go to England and investigate these places.
I'm just gonna fly him there, Robin.
Well, listen, it comes down to this: like, the older a spirit is, the more it has learned how to use its lack of a body to manipulate the physical world and interact with the living, how to draw energy, how to do all these things. We say it all the time. It's like a piano player. The longer you play the piano, the better piano player you become. The longer you're a ghost, the better damn ghost you become. For real.
Yeah.
So, over there, God knows. No wonder they always get stuff thrown at them and stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. But before we run this last video about the SLS, we're going to just give props. Are there any new comments or just diphtheria? And Robin said something before, I think. What did Hope have to say? Let me see. I'm sorry, I'm blind. Marissa has to read stuff.
Oh, it says, need to see and hear about the place. Anybody can just talk. Yeah, well,
What?
we were just showing the video evidence. I don't know.
What? Was that a nasty comment?
No, it's not nasty. They're just saying. They're saying they want to see it. So I want to. You have people just want to. They can only see it to believe it. Well, that's why we're showing evidence on the show, and then we're talking about it. But maybe they just tuned in. So
I don't really care though.
Jesus Christ.
No, for real. Like, do you really make that comment? We don't get paid to do the show, just so you know. Like, we go out and do these investigations. I spend hundreds of hours reviewing video. We go help people who have demonic entities in their house, put ourselves at risk for real. For real. It ain't no joke. Okay. The people whose house we're going to next are getting clawed and bit and sent us pictures. Okay. We're showing this proof, hopefully, to remove the stigma of the subject, because when we lived through our own haunting, we were mocked. And then you come on here and say, you want to listen, believe me, if I could show all videos, then it would just be ghost adventures. I mean, it's like half a podcast, half ghost adventures. What can I tell you? I mean, it is what it is.
Thanks, Hope, for your comment.
Yeah, that's why we try to read the comments before, so we can ignore ones like that. Good grief.
Wait, and then go
Don't
back.
even bother.
Oh no, I was just going to say, Robin said, see how devoted I am? It's
Yeah,
almost 2 a.m. here in the UK, and he's watching, and we appreciate you. All right.
Oh, what? Listen, look, watch.
Why do you even respond to ignorance?
Because I didn't read it. I'm blind, bro. Like, I wear glasses normally, but it'll reflect the lights, and you won't even see my eyes. You'll just see the reflection. Thank you for the comments. I appreciate you getting our back. But normally we try to read them before, but we pick up. There's usually a Hope that's like nice. That
I kind of like the shock factor. I kind of like.
I don't know. I was stunned though.
Thanks so much.
As she's reading it, I'm like, what the heck? Thank you for getting our back, though. Listen, we do our best. We do our best. But if we don't explain what you're watching in the video, to some folks, they're not into the paranormal. So, this is just like a casual thing they're watching. If we don't explain what's going on, they're not familiar with the terms, the equipment, how it all works, and what it all means. We try very hard to break it down so that everybody can enjoy the show. The casual, somebody who's just interested in the afterlife, somebody who had one experience. Take your pick. But we're going to get into this last video. We're just going to give props to our sponsors for 2 seconds here, because without them, we wouldn't be able to do any of our work. So I'm just going to run these two quick ads, and then we will run the video. Wickedly Haunted is sponsored by JMG Medical Group. If you have unused, unexpired, and unopened diabetic test strips at home, call my friend Ron at 508-642-6565. He will pay you up to $35 per box and come to your house to pick them up paying you cash on the spot. If you mention the show Wickedly Haunted, he will give you an extra $5 per box. If you do not live locally, you can send them to him and he will pay for the shipping. He is now also buying Dexcom 6 and Libre sensor pod. Wickedly Haunted is sponsored by Ghost Gear Tech. Their ghost hunting devices are on the cutting edge of the next generation of ghost hunting equipment. They design unique devices such as the ultrasonic motion detector, the REM puck, and the DIY EMF reference board. Everything from Ghost Gear comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee. Now, we have that one device from them, which is spectacular. We recently actually teamed up with, or partnered up with them, with our company right here, which is Relatively Paranormal Equipment. We have a shop on Etsy where you can see all of our devices. eBay, if you click on any of the devices and scroll down to seller, you can see all of our devices there as well. And we sell them individually on Facebook Marketplace. But we sell this baby right here, which was our own invention, which is the power plant. It's got 2 energy pumps in it, and it uses quartz and amethyst crystal energy amplifiers to amplify that energy and then emit it into the general area for spirits to feed off with. It absolutely 1000% works. We have 5 stars for 2 years across the board on every site from everybody who's ever put up a review. Now, we all know that if you would at least piss somebody off if it didn't work.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Somebody
sure.
would put up a comment that it didn't work.
Yeah.
But it works, absolutely.
It's the one piece of equipment I would not leave home to go to an investigation without it.
When you watch this show and you see
Ever.
the constant non-stop activity that we put out there, it's because of that device and some of the techniques we use as far as speaking to the spirits. And spirits are not dumb. They know when you're a skeptic and when you're a true believer. And if you are a skeptical person, they don't have a ton of energy, they're not going to bother with you.
Right.
They're not going to. So when skeptics go to places, no, nothing happened to me. It's because they knew you were a skeptic. It sounds funky, but it's true. It's true. They are not stupid. And then our new device right here, the SLS camera, is what you are about to see evidence of that we captured on the 3rd floor of this house. We are selling them now for $285. That comes with everything. These things usually go for $400 or $500, and it comes with absolutely everything, including an SD card, a rechargeable battery, and I'm sorry, a cat was going crazy over here. I don't know. The thing's already torn up from him. Why even bother? But let me run the last video. So what you're going to see here is a double screen. The SLS camera has an infrared screen that is not that great. But since I lost the original video, I do not have another camera view to put with it. And the other screen is almost like a video game type screen with stick figures that are going to pop up. Those are spirits. When we're on there, we have a shape around our body. When there's something in the middle of the floor moving around, that is a spirit, okay? What you're about to see is one of the freakiest, weirdest SLS captures we have ever pulled out of any investigation anywhere. And honestly, I was looking at it again today, and at one point, I don't even know what the hell I'm looking at. I couldn't figure out what the head was, the legs, the arms, and listen, think about it like this. When you're watching a ghost movie about a haunting, and you see these spirits crawling around on the floor, and they're like all distorted, and they're like cracking themselves into place. At the end, that's what he does. He pulls himself back together, kind of. So that's what you have to picture in your mind when you're watching this. That's what's going on. And we have our Vortex spirit box on the 3rd floor, and it's talking, it's responding, it's answering questions, and it's talking about the thing on the floor. So enjoy the clip. Post your questions and comments. We'll see you in a few. Unfortunately, we lost most of our evidence and footage from our first investigation of this home. That is, except for our SLS 3D mapping footage of our 3rd floor investigation here and the recording from our Zoom voice recorder during our investigation of the 3rd floor. Since we don't have any audio from the 1st floor to go with this SLS, I'll have to voice over what is going on when we show that footage first. What you're about to see is some of the amazing captures that
that the SLS produced that night, with spirits mapping all over the room, doing all sorts of crazy things. You're gonna see two sides of that camera. It's infrared camera view and it's 3D mapping view. Both will show you the spirits in stick figure form. The reason I'm showing you this video is so that you understand what it is that you're looking at, because the infrared camera on the V1 SLS is not the greatest. Enjoy this footage. It's some of the best SLS footage we've ever captured. The SLS camera that you're seeing on the table right now is actually pointed in the same direction of the room that it was the first time we were here. What you're looking at is the SLS footage that we captured in the ladies' parlor on the first floor during our first investigation of this home. For most of the time, we didn't capture anything, but as you can see, a few figures started to appear on this 3D mapping camera in different parts of the room. As usual, they were hiding behind the furniture, taking a look to see what we were doing, popping in and out of what we feel is the spirit world or the veil, because you don't see them walking on and off camera, just popping in and out of it. As you can see here, there are two figures, one hiding behind that chair and one sitting on the armrest of it, almost like two children, as the figures are very small. Usually the ones we see are the size of a normal adult. To us, these look like two little kids just checking out the scene, being nosy to see what the adults were doing. Next up, our SLS footage from the third floor of this house, where we actually have some audio to go along with it, so you'll catch a better idea of what exactly is going on. Right now, you're seeing a SLS stick figure or spirit form in front of our spirit box, where it looks like he's hanging out, talking into it.
Go ahead, you're so close. You're so close, I can see it. Make sure you use plenty of energy out of those boxes. Not to be okay? Don't take our energy. You're doing such a great job. You're so close. Show us your pretty face. Can you see that, Rod? Marie?
Do it, hurry. Do it.
Oh, very close. Yeah, very close. We can see. I can see two faces. They're not like taking out the set completely. What's Jack?
Pack.
Oh, Pack.
Oh wow, since I've seen someone take all this stuff.
I know.
As this spirit that's been in front of the spirit box finally disappears, another one that almost looks like a false positive jumps off the chair and over to the spirit box to take its place. But it almost looks like he's trying to climb into it as it disappears just as fast as it appeared over near the chair, followed by a spirit that jumped off the suit that was hanging in the corner, doing the same exact thing, only to disappear just as quickly. Normally I would think that something mapping on a suit would be a false positive, but not when it jumps about 4 feet across the room and lands in front of our spirit box.
You did a great job. Thank
I
you.
went up once with my phone, but I didn't have it up far enough. I saw the door
It did work. You did wonderful.
Open.
I appreciate it.
and then close, and I'm like, oh my God, please let me have got. But I didn't have it tilted in the right direction.
Oh my God.
Have it tilted
Do you
good
have my
enough.
phone?
Look, somebody's over. Is that the suit?
Do you have my phone?
No, because that's over to the
No,
left.
it's not. No, it has something mapping out, but.
Oh, it is mapped out. Look.
Yeah, I know. Do you have it or do I have it?
Well,
My phone?
I do not have your phone.
Oh, is that it on the. Is that mine? Is it yours?
Probably. Yeah, 'cause the other.
Whatever this entity or spirit is that just jumped off the suit and is now moving all over the floor seems to be having a really hard time forming into a full-bodied apparition over there. Its body looks contorted and all crushed together, almost like in the movies when a spirit is crawling around on the floor, cricking and cracking its bones, trying to get into a full standing position. Only this guy or lady doesn't seem to be able to do that. This is one of the most bizarre SLS figures we have ever seen, and it's almost difficult to tell what the head, the arms, the feet, the legs, and the hands are in this hot mess of a supernatural being that's stuck to the floor here, can't seem to form itself.
Oh, I'm not kidding. She said, "Is it you?"
Many.
Yep.
What year did you die? Is somebody making it hard for me to breathe? It's me? Who? Who's me? Hey, he said F you.
You broke your promise. That's what I just said. You broke your
Broke my promise what? You showed your face and made the static go away?
Oh.
What makes this SLS video so compelling is the fact that whatever this entity is has now moved closer to the spirit box at the same time as very compelling words and direct answers and responses are coming out of it. What's more amazing is that it's in the middle of the floor where absolutely nothing around it could be causing a false positive. Not only that, I don't know what the hell its shape is in right now, but it is crazy. It is absolutely crawling around on the floor like some sort of spider. This is one of the freakiest SLS videos I've ever seen. Is that? That's weird. Yeah. What?
Design.
What's her name?
No, I don't know what that is.
Good night.
I don't know if they would even want to see what that looks like. It looks like there's like a spirit that looks like a spider crawling around your floor.
Fantastic.
Who does Marissa have on the camera right now? That is weird. Who's like sniffing on the... Are they floating? At the end of this SLS capture, the most amazing thing happens as this entity finally stands up, moves directly over to the spirit box, and then disappears into that area into thin air.
Ooh, that was weird.
Yeah, see, Marissa hadn't seen that very end, but I've watched it a bunch of times, and it's weird. It's something crawling around at the end, but that's in the middle of the floor. There's nothing that caused a false positive. And it would have been stuck to that suit like glue and never moved an inch if it was a false positive. But it literally leaps off the suit and starts like moving around. I was looking at it, I think at first he's got his feet on the wall like Spider-Man. And he's like bent over like backwards, like craning his neck to look at us. But then he starts crawling around on the floor. You can hear us talking about it, that it looks like a spider. I mean, we couldn't figure it out live. And but the funny thing is that some of those spirit box answers were so incredible because they weren't even responding to us at one point. They were talking about what we were talking about.
But amongst themselves. Yeah.
To each other,
Mm.
which happens all the time. And I love it when it happens. So what I'm talking about is we can hear the spirits talking to each other often. And they're talking to each other about our conversation, which is pretty cool stuff.
Yeah, it is.
Saying my name. They never ceases to amaze me. You know I invented the thing, but it just does some weird stuff.
It's
some
awesome.
really weird stuff. And the fact that the first SLS figure is like right in front of it with his head stuck in the spirit box talking through it is pretty crazy. And then the last guy moves over towards it and then disappears into it, like into that area.
It's so weird.
It's awesome. But you can see a power plant was underneath it. We were
Right.
trying to give them more energy to talk. So he disappeared into that area, almost like he went in there to like power up or something. But he doesn't come back. But either way, like I am so pumped that is the one piece that got saved from the first investigation because it's awesome.
Yeah, it was.
It's awesome. It is totally awesome. Let's check and see if there's any questions and comments. Right here. Hold on. Miss Tracy said what?
Where? Oh, the crawling spidery thing.
Yeah, we sent Tracy that video originally because we didn't have anything else. We felt bad that the first one got lost. So they were nice enough to, have us right back. Here we go.
And he says hello. I can't read the name. Can you move that most?
Oh, yes.
Oh, Hakeem says hello.
What's up, Hakeem?
Hi,
Thank you
how
for
are you?
watching. We appreciate it. And
And Jose says, I'm convinced. Thank you.
Thank you. There's just no explanation for a lot of the things that happen there, and just too many devices, EVPs, spirit voices. Spirit box was talking off the charts. I could hear everything it was saying, and no matter what we put out in that mansion, it would pick something up. And that just doesn't happen. It doesn't happen. We can go to, Lizzie Borden's was extremely active. That didn't happen there. We've been all over New England, and it's rare that stuff like that happens. SK Pierce maybe was extremely active, but really, really crazy stuff. So
real quick, there's just a couple more comments. And Jose, this has a good question right here. So he says, do the entities always speak English?
Well, if you were in a foreign country, where I've never investigated in a foreign country, but we've heard like spirit box sessions and EVPs where they spoke their own language. It's not a theory we have, but we've been contemplating for a long time whether language transcends death. Like once you're into the spirit world, does language matter anymore? Can they just talk to each other? Is language no longer a barrier in the spirit world? Which would be awesome if it wasn't. But it's hard to tell. Like some of these old mansions that we go to, the people had immigrated here from other countries.
A lot of times we can hear the accents in their voice. But
a lot. We've been to a lot of Native American sites around here, like Anwan Rock and the Great Indian, the Great Swamp Massacre, and you can hear
the Native Americans.
They're speaking English, but you can tell that it was like English that was taught to them, and they were still learning. You can hear it.
Of course.
In the spirit box. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's mind blowing. Let me tell you, like we say all the time, the more questions that are answered, the more questions we have. It's hard to wrap your mind around some of this because we try to think of all this stuff from rules that exist in the physical world. Okay, these entities are in a different dimension, one that's kind of parallel to ours, that they can kind of come back and forth through depending on how much energy they have and the situation. But they are basically the rules in whatever their dimension obviously don't apply to our dimension.
Right.
Like yes, the guy was standing on the wall sideways, like horizontally. Okay. But even if he had come into the physical world, he's a being from the spirit world, from another dimension. So it doesn't apply to him. And he's got no body, but yet his body's showing up on a 3D mapping camera. Mm-hmm. How does that happen? How does the body downstairs show up on a thermal imaging type device, an ultrasonic motion detector's picking him up, and then the 3D mapping camera picks him up, all in the same room, all in the same spot. If you watch the episode 1 of this, you'll be blown away by some of the stuff that was captured all at one time. So, that's why we asked to comment and ask questions, because we want to hear other people's ideas on this stuff too. As you're watching the show, maybe something pops into your head like, oh my God, how does that happen? Geez. And then, chew on it for a minute. And if you have a question, ask, because we chew on this stuff all day, all the time.
Yeah.
It's really fascinating stuff. Really fascinating stuff.
And just the last one here. So Shannon asks, she's curious where the house is. We can't give the address, but
yeah, it's in downtown New Bedford. It is on the show Haunting, which is on Discovery Plus. It's season 10, episode 2. The episode is called House of Nightmares. Now Tracy has admitted to us that most of it is true, but the producers. It's TV. When it says based on a true story, it means that they're going to make it a little scarier, because that's the point of the show. Tracy's husband, poor Dennis, they used like George Costanza's stunt double to be him. The man does not look like that at all.
I wish we had a picture of him to post up.
I don't remember. I don't think Tracy was too upset by whoever played her, but they use actors and they bounce back and forth between the real people. But
the facts are,
I would have been hot if that's who they picked. To would have been so pissed.
The house is haunted, and that's probably what they weren't able to show.
They don't do an investigation or anything.
I know, but what I'm saying is,
we haven't been there yet. So I mean, come on, man.
Listen,
Tracy knows it's haunted, but Tracy also knows that, and Dennis knows that people don't believe you. Only 40% of the general public believes that ghosts are even real.
Isn't that crazy? That's crazy, right?
It is crazy.
40%. That's such a low number.
It is. It totally is. But listen, we want to thank everybody for watching. We love all of you. We appreciate it, whether you're watching on a replay, whether you're watching it live. Please, if you like the content, the person, whoever was Hope, we do put full investigation videos both on our website and on our YouTube channel, Relatively Paranormal, or www.relativelyparanormal.com. There's a video player called Full Investigations. Then you don't have to hear us talking. You can just see the evidence. We do put that out there. We have a playlist of quick evidence clips, like 1 minute crazy clips. We just put a bunch of wild stuff on there. And there's all sorts of content like that on there. So, and then there's every episode of this show. So if you like the analysis in between and the back and forth, that's what we're trying to provide, is more, more thought into it than just a 2-second voiceover. I mean, those voiceovers are a lot harder to do than I thought they were. Trying to spit that in like 30 seconds when an orb's whipping by. Not that easy to do. Anyway, but please go check those out. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. We could really use the support. Go to our public Facebook group, Relatively Paranormal. We have a TikTok channel, Relatively Paranormal. And if you are into paranormal investigation and you want an amazing SLS camera that caught that amazing last video, we sell them for $285 on our Etsy store. On eBay, we have a shop, and Facebook Marketplace, you'd have to bump into it. But the Etsy shop is Relatively Paranormal, but our company's called Relatively Paranormal Equipment, or whatever you want to call it. But
either way, have a great
thank you
rest
so
of the
much for
weekend.
watching. We love you guys. We'll be back on as soon as possible. We do have 2 crazy cases to handle to help some folks out, and then we'll be back.
And
we'll be back.
The next investigation that we're going to be showing is going to be a home in Fairhaven. So either way,
Listen, please, everybody. Honestly, the 2 places we're going to seem pretty dangerous. Please keep a thought for us. Say a prayer for us. Whatever we need, all the help we can get. If people are really getting bit and scratched and stuff, that's a whole new level. So we're being serious. We appreciate the help. If anybody just keep a thought for us, say a prayer for us. We appreciate it. Some of the stuff actually is dangerous. So
goodbye.
Bye. Thank you. Have a great weekend. Say bye, Julia.
Bye. Bye.
Hit the end button.